Hello Internet, welcome back to our Magiclysm series, episode 78, and we are currently migrating from our previous town and we're heading up here. It looks like it has been partially revealed. An empty residential lot. Okay, very exciting. And 3 houses. Yeah, I didn't expect this particular town to be very much. This is where we kind of need to make the decision of where to go. We could head east in hopes of finding something, but I think we're going to continue heading northwest because that was where the largest town we've seen is located. I'm not really sure why the town seems so small in this playthrough. I definitely pretty sure I have default world gen settings. I may have put city spacing up one tick because I like having a little bit more space in between cities, but I'm surprised by the smallness of these towns. So we're gonna head up here. We'll clear out this little town and take a look at these houses, but that's not, that's not exciting. That's not anything particularly. There's nothing there. It's just houses. Giant amoeba, or no, amoebic mold. Oh, hello, amoebic mold. Maybe that's where the corpses went. Maybe it's eating corpses. I'm not really sure what their deal is. They are listed as the size of a cow. Formless slime mold the size of a cow. It's got to be edible, right? It looks... I mean, do we want to engage it? How dangerous are you? I don't know if you're scary or not. It has a gray name, so I don't think it's really scary. We will grab all the drugs, because of course we will. Pork sticks are as good as drugs, so we will take those as well. It does seem to be following me. Are you friendly, or are you trying to absorb me into your protoplasm? Jennings J22. Man, my ear. I have something bothering my ear. J22, 12 damage. It must... Oh, it's a 22, of course. I mean, I guess we'll take it. Why wouldn't we take it? And we're just gonna try to stay away from the mold. It's freaking me out a little bit. Grab the leather backpack as a backup. Oh, zombie runners. Hello. I did not notice you approaching me because I have safe mode turned off. Okay, we'll just machete them, I think. We're not going to get overwhelmed by 3 feral runners. Especially now, we also, if you remember, we have some steel armor. So I'm not really concerned about that. We will continue... I mean, we don't need knives. I don't know that we need knives ever again. Don't really want a base backpack either. I would prefer to pick up a Mac 10. Really? Mac 10s are 45s? I didn't know that. I thought it was a 9mm. Okay. Obviously, very famous gun from television and films and things. Everybody knows what a Mac 10 is. If you don't know what a Mac 10 is, you are a shameful human being, and I can't be around you anymore. We're going to go ahead and shoot this mold because I'm curious if it gives any kind of food. Are you fleeing from me? You're not hostile. It seemed to be following me around. Oh, it just melts away. Oh, that's unfortunate. I really thought that would give me, like... When I was a kid and I would play NetHack, my favorite thing was the slime molds. I really loved the idea that there was, like, some naturally growing slime thing that you could eat. And was like safe to eat. I mean, I'm sure most of them in the real world probably are not safe to eat, but in NetHack you can eat them. So I always really liked that. I don't know why, it was just my favorite thing to eat in NetHack. Why don't we, with our vehicle all janky, I don't know which pile is our reload pile. Okay, we want full ammo just because we are venturing into a new area. For all we know, this little town full of nothing but houses could be filled with hulks. See a small horde of Chihuahua over there. That's interesting. Don't often see that. And there's Zambi. Why don't we just park? We'll hoof it into town so that we have a little bit more control over our movement. You know, I love driving in this game. I love that driving exists in a roguelike. That first time I got in a vehicle and started things up and was driving, it was so awesome because... I've never seen a roguelike do vehicles the right way, so I really love that. But ultimately, driving is much less control over your movement than moving on foot, where you can move in all 6 directions, or rather all 9 directions. I mean, 8 directions? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All 8 directions with the touch of a button. It's very responsive. You know, obviously a vehicle is not. So, yeah. Oh, what the heck are you? Zombie wrestler? Look, he has a little mask on. I mean, he's in the dark, so it's hard to see him, but he also has a wrestling belt, which I love. When were you added to the game, my friend? A slab of festering muscle the size of a well-toned bodybuilder seems eager to strangle the life from you. Yeah, interesting. I guess they would grapple, so we're going to stay out of melee range of him. I'm guessing he functions as a brute. Let's get some criticals on him instead of just plinking away. Oh! Arms fly out and pull to grab you. Well, thankfully we should be able to kill him with this. No? Okay. Oh man, please die. You hit me. Slammed against the wall for 66 damage. Not great. 66 damage is kind of a huge amount of damage. I guess it was spread out over our limbs, so it's a grand total, so it's not a big deal. But so apparently they can grab you at a distance. I wish I had known that. But that's, part of meeting a new enemy is not knowing its capabilities. So that's interesting. Also a Remington, which will unload for shot shells. But I don't think we really need... I don't think we need a Remington. I also don't think we need any more light batteries. Why don't we explore from outside first before we go in these buildings? Just because if we... There are... Okay, my dog is crying. Excuse me a moment. Sorry, I had to tend to the pupper. He gets a little anxious. So we used to have a dog that was... I don't know if I ever talked about this. Before we had the two dogs that we had now, we had a pit bull, which we got the same way we got all of our other animals. Someone, got her and then didn't want her. So we took her in. Problem was she was never around other dogs. And so when we got this dog, the little wiener dog, we had to keep him upstairs. And so the only time we let him downstairs was when he was going outside to use the bathroom. And so we had to teach him to wait at the top of the stairs because our other dog was not friendly. We had it gated off, but when we would put him out, we would tell him to stay upstairs until we came back to get him, basically. And there was a time when, Grandpa opened the gate, told him to wait, and then he didn't wait, and our dog bit him. And it was very scary. I was worried he was going to get really hurt. Ultimately, it was just a little minor thing. He didn't die. He was fine. And I remember being very frustrated that they, did that and didn't protect our dog. But ever since then, after that, I made a real point of teaching him to stay at the top of the stairs. We would, I would open the gate and I would tell him to wait, and I would go downstairs. And if he followed me down, I would make him come back upstairs. And why can't we pry you? I don't care. Open the window. And if he came down, I would make him walk back upstairs, and then I would stop him at the top and tell him to wait, and go downstairs. And if he followed me down, I would take him back up, tell him to wait. And eventually he learned, to wait at the top of the stairs. The problem is that dog died several years ago. And our dog is still trained to where he doesn't want to go downstairs unless he's very sure that we want him to. So, oftentimes when someone goes downstairs, he likes following my one female relative around. When she goes downstairs and he doesn't go with her right away. He doesn't know what to do. So he just will stand at the top of the stairs and cry and kind of, hope to get someone's attention so that someone can tell him it's okay to go down. So here, I have this door closed. He was standing at the door crying. And then he went to the stairs and would not go down until I, started walking down the stairs and said, come on, it's okay, So on the one hand, it's good, and it's nice to see that dogs can learn and that you can train a dog to do things if you take the time and effort. It did take time to walk him back upstairs over and over and say, look, we don't go down until I tell you to come on, basically. But it's nice to see that sticks with him. Definitely want more cough syrup. We haven't gotten a cold or anything in a while, but it's always good to have cough syrup based on our experiences of, losing, immediately getting a cold on this character. The reason we didn't want to come in the house to fight everything was because just for movement, basically for movement purposes, we encountered a wrestler. You know, if there were other things in the buildings, we would want to be outside shooting so that they all congregated outside where we have more mobility and stuff. Versus if we're in here shooting things, they might all stack up and start coming in, and then we're limited to this one little room to try and navigate around them. So just a little bit of precaution. It's not even really necessary. We're pretty good on the armor front. Again, I would like more, but I think steel arm guards and leg guards are like the best you're going to get until you find power armor. I don't know if there's anything really better than those. We could line them with Kevlar as well, which would increase their just goodness. But I don't think we're going to necessarily do that. Looks like the gamer basement, but it's full of rats, which is weird. I think the gamer basement is the only one with these wood tiles. Why don't we machete them? It's hard to hit them. I don't know if rats can push each other the way. Oh, we're just murdering them. I thought it would be really hard to actually hit the rats because they're so small. Again, these are potentially sources of meat, but we're not really going to do that. There is a PR. There was a PR about making giant creatures give tainted meat, basically. Not tainted meat exactly. Like tainted meat comes from zombies, but to make the meat from giant mutated creatures not good for the player. I don't know where that's at currently. Dice, and character sheets. Let's look at the character sheets. A rogue, a bard, and a fighter. I mean, I guess that is an acceptable party. It's not optimal for sure. It's definitely not the best you could do, but it's fine. Rogue, bard, fighter. You got a tank. I mean, you kind of need a healer, but whatever. We're in a distressing amount of pain, which I did not notice, probably from being bounced into a wall by a brute. So we'll head back upstairs. Really not the best basement for us to come across. I would have preferred a different basement, but that's okay. Yeah, so in the future, giant mutated creatures are probably not going to be good sources of meat. At first, I was really against that PR, but they've changed it, and the way they're setting it up now, I'm actually a big fan. I really like. It's very clever the way they're doing it. Instead of making it just flat out like poison or whatever, they're actually making it like a vitamin so that it gradually accumulates. And those sirens, hopefully they're not coming for me. They're making it so that it would gradually accumulate in your system. What is this? What am I looking at? A homeless camp. Is it a homeless camp though? It's just a little bit of okay. We're just gonna leave. I mean, we could harvest cattails to make to flour and stuff, but we're not doing that right now. Yeah, so basically, instead of being poison or whatever, they're making it so it's like a vitamin, but it's a bad vitamin. So it gradually accumulates in your system the more you consume this particular type of meat. And I think that's really awesome. I think it's a really clever way to go about it. Making it poison, you know, originally they were going to make it so it had like a huge negative to your health stat, like to the point where it was basically like drinking sewage. And I thought that was just ridiculous because it is just meat. You know, it's not like just because it has gigantism, the meat is bad, you know. So that really bothered me. And then they said, you know, oh, well, we're going to change it to where it's going to use vitamins instead. And I thought like, well, that's so much more realistic because if something is wrong with the meat, it would be a gradual accumulation. It would be like that. Like the more you eat it, the more of an issue it becomes instead of just eating it and having it be terrible. Whatever. I just really like the idea. So that's something to keep your eye on. That probably is not in a game currently, I don't think. Last time I checked, it wasn't merged or anything. It was still a work in progress. But I really like the idea. And yeah, really cool thing. Wow. Apparently cabins got a boost to what they have in them because it definitely did not used to have so much stuff. Lots and lots of perishable or non-perishable food. A scuba tank seems really cool, but also seems like, why would I ever need a scuba tank? High pressure 232 bar diving tank can contain up to 12 liters of compressed mixture of oxygen and nitrogen. Is equipped with an on-demand regulator and a mouthpiece designated mostly for underwater use. Okay, Performs well. I don't know how this would work. I assume it's just like an oxygen mask we would take hits from. But I don't think we need that. We don't need a hammer, don't need a mess kit or anything. Don't need a shovel. At this point, we can manufacture anything we would need, really. Do we have both of these? 7, yes, and yes. Okay. Antibiotics, Atreyu pan, okay. And partially collapsed building. Yeah, cabins must have got either new layouts or a huge boost to their item generation, because used to be a cabin would have like 2 items in it, and we found, I mean, just a crap ton of food in there. So that's really cool. Plus some oil. I always like getting oil, again, because I like making flour out of cattails, and you need oil to make most of the breads. Or you did like a year ago when I did that last. I haven't done that in a while. Okay. It's another reason why I would grow canola, is because you could make canola oil. Although someone told me you can do that with weed too. So you not only get the benefit of growing the actual marijuana, but you also get the oil from it, which you can use for cooking, which is interesting. I didn't know that you could. I mean, I guess it's oil. Oil is oil. Man, we're so far away from this town still. What are you? Field campsite? I don't think there'd be anything there we would want to check out. We are going to keep our eyes open. There are some pretty neat stuff, neat locations that can spawn in the rural areas. You know, I haven't checked for a while. Do we have any? Let's search for cache. No caches. I am running the caches mod. Unfortunately, pretty much I've abandoned my caches mod. I never update the thing. I tried to update it recently to increase their frequency, because I never ever find them. I've played, I mean, probably 100 hours with that mod, and I don't think I've ever been to one of these caches. And so I upped their frequency, and then someone told me like, oh, you upped it too much. And they were right, of course. And it's like, I just don't know what to do. I'm not a modder, you know. Balance is like the hardest thing. I like making locations. Evolved mutant. Oh, look at this guy. Oh my goodness. Look at this. Holy crap. So these were added to the game maybe 3 or 4 months ago. These mutant, I think there's a base level mutant and then a like highly evolved mutant. A towering beast that is neither human nor animal anymore. A malformed, huge creature covered in thick fur and the torn bottom part of a jumpsuit. The sinister fangs, claws, and the look of insanity in his pale yellow eyes are a testament to what he has lost. Oh, that he has lost all of his humanity. Why don't we? I mean, his name is a deep red, which means he's probably very dangerous. And not only is he very dangerous, but he's most likely. I think the red name also means it goes into your kill list. 542 things. We're going to try to hit him with our vehicle, because I think that might kill him. I can't see where the dot is for my aim, for my driving. We're only going 10 miles an hour. Why are we only going 10 miles an hour? I've upped it to 48, and we're only going. I guess the electric motor is just not doing what I need it to do. Why don't we toggle on our gas-powered engine, and I'm guessing that will change things. So yeah, maybe we do need both of them. Okay, slow down now, because we're making a very wide turn. Yeah, so we're not going to hit him, I guess. Or maybe we will. Don't hit the tree, though. I mean, is he dead? Evolved mutant dies, you hear smash. Great. Let's pop out and take a look at him. Hopefully that didn't damage our vehicle too much. Yeah, I don't like hitting things with our vehicle, mostly. We never did repair these, so these might have not been in perfect shape to begin with. But they definitely... Some of this stuff took some pretty significant damage, I think. Because I think we had repaired most of this base vehicle frames and stuff. Okay, what'd you have on you? Literally pants and a rag. This is one of those things about Cataclysm where, like, even the super difficult monsters basically drop all the same stuff that, like, so if let's say you kill, I don't know, a skeletal juggernaut, right? Very tough monster, hard to shoot because of their armor and their protection and things. Extremely hard to melee because they will punt you across the room. They're pretty difficult creatures as far as things go. But a skeletal juggernaut basically drops the same things that a regular zombie will drop. And so there's really no incentive whatsoever for killing a skeletal juggernaut. And I understand that logic because all of the super zombies come from regular human beings that have changed over time. So, like, why would it have something different on it? But at the same time, from a game perspective, it sucks to kill something really tough and get basically nothing out of it. And this seems to be a great example of that. Now, it is a mutant, so presumably it escaped from a lab somewhere. And based on the lab starts, they do just start with like a jumpsuit and nothing else. But that was a dark red name. It looked very scary. I gotta imagine it was a tough thing to kill. And so it's like, to just get pants and a rag off of that is disappointing. It's disappointing. I understand the logic behind it, but from a gameplay perspective, it's not very satisfying. Why don't we... Did we smash him? Did we smash these? I think it was like not undead, so it doesn't really matter. Why don't we repair some stuff while we're sitting here? Because we can, and we probably should. Yes, use the arc welder. It takes a long time to repair these military composite things, apparently. That's okay. This needs done. I know it's not the most exciting thing in the world to watch. Yeah, the evolved mutants were added a while back. I mean, it's weird to just find it out in the open world. I kind of thought they only spawned inside of labs. But it's also the first time we've seen that creature. And not only is it the first time that we've seen the creature, but it's the first time... didn't we also see, was it this episode, we saw the Migos slavers? I've already forgotten. Let's turn on our aisle lights. I didn't mean to start the vehicle. Stop driving. Why don't we close this all up? I mean, we're probably not going to sleep. So closing everything up is... We're just going to end up leaving. But let's go ahead and repair some more. Even though we're inside the vehicle, we should be able to continue repairing, even though it doesn't make sense. Yep. So we're seeing some new creatures we haven't seen before. I assume also that it's because we're getting later into the game. We're on day 60. Wow. So summer is coming. I didn't realize we were quite so far ahead. I mean, this is episode like 78. We have come a long way since we started this series. This vehicle is, it's not the most beautiful vehicle in the world, but I like it. The only real thing that I would like to change about it is I would like it to be amphibious so that we could potentially drive it through the water just because it would be fun to do so. So it does look like we're reliant on the gas-powered engine at this point, which I don't love, but, we were only getting up to about 10 miles an hour. I knew this was going to happen once we started putting a lot of weight into the vehicle. And then once we get further along, we'll take the electric engine out and replace it with another powerful gasoline-powered vehicle so we can run both at the same time to move the hefty form of our vehicle. I think we're about fully repaired here. We'll just top off this frame, and we're good. So we're not tired. We are peckish. We're in mild pain. Oh, I don't know what that sound I made was. Okay. Why don't we eat some pork sticks because they're going bad? Why don't we check, is there anything rotten that we don't want in our vehicle? No? Frozen stuff? That's fine. And some cold meat. I love cold meat. Why don't we continue driving, I guess. We'll just keep heading towards the town. Unfortunately, because it's nighttime, it's not going to reveal a huge area around us. I really don't feel like pushing up into a motel in the middle of the night because they often have a lot of zombies around. This looks like prime location for a military outpost or lab, so we will definitely maybe take a detour down here. We have not found a military outpost at all in this game. We've seen plenty of labs. I think we've found 4 or 5 labs at this point, but the military locations can have power armor as well, or are likely to have power armor, so we kind of want to keep an eye out. We don't have any military ID cards, and with turrets being as dangerous as they are currently, they were recently upgraded to where they have much broader ranges, especially during the daytime, or exclusively, I guess, during the daytime. So they're much more dangerous, but I think that military location would be very good for us if we could find one. When we turn off our aisle lights, and you know what? Why don't we call the episode? I think throat's bothering me a little bit. I want to hydrate and eat some dinner and come back fresh. So for now, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the episode. I'll be back with more Cataclysm every single day of the week, and I'll see you in the next episode.